Namaskara. Hello. You're watching News9 live. I said Namaskara because today is the last day for campaigning in Karnataka. I remember those days in school when you had your exams and you crammed the last day. Pretty much the same situation in Karnataka. Now, a few days from now, Karnataka would have elected a new government. A lot of suspense, lot of excitement. Every party is putting their best foot forward. But the two main political parties, that is the BJP and the Congress, are investing maximum time and a very aggressive push to get ahead of the finishing line. This is the most comprehensive roundup of what Narendra Modi and of course Gandhis said and did during the last leg in Karnataka. Of course, we shall also bring you what Amit Shah said and also JP Nadda. So here it is. Let's hear it from what the leader said on the last day of the campaigning in Karnataka.
इस चुनाव में अब कांग्रेस के शाही परिवार ने कल कर्नाटका में आकर के बोला है, उन्होंने कहा है कि कर्नाटका की सॉवरेनिटी की रक्षा करना चाहते हैं। कर्नाटका की सॉवरेनिटी यानी कि कर्नाटका की संप्रभुता, क्या आपको पता है कि इसका अर्थ क्या होता है? इतने सालों से पार्लियामेंट में बैठे हैं, भारत के संविधान का शपथ लिया है और ये बात बोलते हैं। जब कोई देश, सुनिए दोस्तों, जब कोई देश आजाद हो जाता है तो उस देश को संप्रभु राष्ट्र कहते हैं। कांग्रेस जो कह रही है, इसका मतलब है कि कांग्रेस कर्नाटका को भारत से अलग मानती है। क्या आपको मंजूर है ये बात? आपको मंजूर है? ऐसा कहने वाली कांग्रेस को सजा करोगे नहीं करोगे? भाइयों बहनों, इसका मतलब है कि कांग्रेस खुलकर कर्नाटका को भारत से अलग करने की वकालत कर रही है। टुकड़े टुकड़े गैंग की बीमारी कांग्रेस में इतनी ऊपर तक पहुंच जाएगी। आज मैं कर्नाटका के फर्स्ट टाइम वोटर्स, जो पहली बार मतदान करने वाले हैं, जिनकी 18 साल की उम्र हुई है, मैं आज इन फर्स्ट टाइम वोटरों से सवाल करना चाहता हूं। मेरे सवाल को समझे, सोचे, क्या कर्नाटका का विकास ऐसी कांग्रेस पार्टी कर सकती है जिसका लक्ष्य भ्रष्टाचार और तुष्टीकरण हो? कर सकती है क्या? कांग्रेस भला कर सकती है क्या? जरा पूरी ताकत से बताइए, कर सकती है क्या? कांग्रेस हमारे नौजवानों का भविष्य बना सकती है क्या? आपके पिताजी को, माताजी को, दादा दादी को जो मुसीबतें झेलनी पड़ी, ये मोदी आपको ऐसी मुसीबतों से गुजरने देना नहीं चाहता है। आपके माता पिता को जो तकलीफ पड़ी, वो तकलीफ है अब मोदी हटाना चाहता है ताकि आप आगे बढ़ सके।
बहुत अच्छी स्थिति है। भारतीय जनता पार्टी पूरी तरह से चुनाव प्रक्रिया के प्रचार में, हमारा पूरा कमांड है भारतीय जनता पार्टी का, और हम निश्चित रूप से पूर्ण बहुमत से ज़्यादा सीटों से चुनाव जीतने जा रहे हैं। अब लगभग पूरा कर्नाटक में घूमकर आया हूं। मैं विश्वास से टीवी 9 के दर्शकों को बता सकता हूं कि हाफवे मार्च से 15 सीट कम से कम हमारी आएगी। ये दोनों अपने अपने चुनाव क्षेत्र में बड़े बहुमत से हारने जा रहे हैं। मैं दोनों जगह जाकर आया हूं। देखिए रंगनाथ जी, ये आप जो कह रहे हैं कि वो पार्टी छोड़कर चले गए, अगर भारतीय जनता पार्टी उनको टिकट देती तो जाते क्या? निश्चित रूप से नहीं जाते। मगर पार्टी ने स्टैंड लिया है, आपको मंत्री नहीं बनना है मुंबई जी के अंदर, तो एमएलए बनकर क्या करोगे? किसी नए कार्यकर्ता को मौका दो भाई। अब इतना भी आप नहीं छोड़ सकते हो और पार्टी को कहोगे कि आप टिकट नहीं दोगे तो मैं कांग्रेस में चला जाऊंगा सारे सिद्धांत छोड़कर, तो जनता पूछेगी ना कि 30 साल तक जिस कांग्रेस को गाली दी है सिर्फ एक टिकट के लिए आपने छोड़ दिया। आपका क्या सिद्धांत है? पार्टी पहले है, देश पहले है या कैपिटल आई पहले है? ये जनता उनको पूछ रही है आज भी। और जहां तक सऊदी का सवाल है, वो चुनाव हार चुके थे, हमने उनको एमएलसी बनाया, डेप्यूटी सीएम बनाया, दोबारा एमएलसी बनाया और 28 तक वो एमएलसी थे ही। एमएलए बनते हैं तो भी 28 तक रहना है, तो भाई क्यों दूसरे कार्यकर्ता को टिकट नहीं देना? और अगर आपको चुनाव ही लड़ना था तो एमएलसी क्यों बने? उसमें दूसरे कार्यकर्ता को मौका देना चाहिए था। अगर हम स्टैंड न लेते तो क्या होता है? दोनों लोग आज भाजपा में होते। मगर पार्टी ऐसे नहीं चलती है। हमने एक फर्म स्टैंड लिया है और मुझे पूरा भरोसा है दोनों लोग अपने अपने क्षेत्र में बड़े बहुमत से आ रहे हैं। राजनीति में आरोप लगते रहते, इसका आधार होना चाहिए। जैसे बोफोर्स का एक आधार था, जैसे 2G का एक आधार था, इस प्रकार से 40% कमीशन के आरोप का आधार एक भी कोर्ट में केस पेंडिंग नहीं है। और आरोप कौन लगा रहा है? कांग्रेस अध्यक्ष, जिन पर ईडी का चार्जशीट है। चार्जशीट कॉज करने के लिए भी कोर्ट में नहीं गए, वो ट्रायल फेस कर रहे हैं। अगर वो सच्चे होते तो कॉसिंग पिटीशन डालकर चार्जशीट कॉज करने के लिए जाते हैं।
प्रधानमंत्री जी ने एक बड़ा महत्वपूर्ण विषय उठाया कर्नाटक में कल अपने सभा में। उन्होंने कहा कि कांग्रेस अध्यक्षा, पूर्व अध्यक्षा सोनिया गांधी ने कर्नाटक में सोवरेनिटी की बात कही है, जो एक तरह से इस राज्य की में अलगाववाद पैदा करने की कोशिश है। आप किस दृष्टि से देखते हैं इसको?
देखिए, मैंने आपको पहले भी कहा है कि कांग्रेस पार्टी, राहुल गांधी टुकड़े टुकड़े गैंग को प्रोत्साहित करने वाले लोग रहे, लेकिन कुल मिलाकर के कांग्रेस पार्टी एक मानसिक दिवालियेपन से, एक मेंटल बैंकरप्सी से गुजर रही है। और जब मैं मेंटल बैंकरप्सी कहता हूं तो उनको बोध ही नहीं होता है कि ये क्या बात कर रहे हैं, किस तरीके की बातचीत कर रहे हैं। सॉवरेंटी यानी संप्रभुता, हमारे यहाँ सोनिया जी भी, खड़गे साहब भी, इनके बेटे भी, बाकी लोग भी, जो भी कोई सांसद की शपथ लेता है या मंत्री की शपथ लेता है तो कहता है आई ओ माई एलिजेंस टू द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ऑफ इंडिया एंड आई शिल अपहोल्ड द सॉवरेंटी एंड इंटीग्रिटी ऑफ द कंट्री। मैं भारत की संप्रभुता को अक्षुण्ण रखूंगा, ये शपथ लेते हैं। अब इस शपथ को लेने वाला व्यक्ति और लेने वाले लोग अगर कर्नाटक की संप्रभुता की बात करते हैं तो कर्नाटक के हजारों लोग जिन्होंने देश की आज़ादी के लिए अपना सर्वस्व लुटाया है, उनकी बेइज्जती है। और इस तरीके के विचार रखने का मतलब ये है कि आप देश को खंडित करना चाहते हैं और आप टुकड़े टुकड़े गैंग के समर्थक हैं। तो इसकी जितनी भी भर्त्सना की जाए वो कम है कि आप खुद आई ओ माई एलिजेंस टू द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ऑफ इंडिया एंड माई एलिजेंस टू द सोवरेंटी एंड इंटीग्रिटी, अपहोल्ड द सोवरेंटी एंड इंटीग्रिटी ऑफ इंडिया। तो इस तरीके के शपथ लेने वाले लोग इस तरह की बात करें तो आपके समझ में आ सकता हो कि ये मेंटल बैंकरप्ट पार्टी है।
पोलराइजेशन के लिए बीजेपी जो है यहाँ सांप्रदायिक चीज़ों को लाती है चुनाव में, और एसडीपीआई से उनका अलायंस भी हो रहा है, और आप बजरंग दल का इशू जो उठा रहे हैं, इसको लेके पोलराइजेशन हो रहा है, इस पे क्या कहेंगे?
पीएफआई और एसडीपीआई का संबंध है कि नहीं है? पीएफआई ठोस आधार पर बैन हुई है कि नहीं हुई है? आप उसके साथ संबंध जोड़ते हैं, आप विघटनकारी ताकतों के साथ संबंध जोड़ते हैं और प्रश्न हमसे करते हैं। मेरे तो समझ में नहीं आ रहा हूँ। बजरंग दल की एंट्री किसने कराई? बजरंग दल का नाम किसने लिया? बजरंग बली को लाया कौन? ये आप लेकर के आओ और फिर हमारे को बोलो कि हम तो सबका साथ, सबका विकास, सबका विश्वास, सबका प्रयास लेकर के चलते हैं। लेकिन आप एंटी नेशनल फोर्सेस को, पीएफआई एंटी नेशनल फोर्स डिक्लेयर हुई है कि नहीं हुई है? इन्वेस्टिगेशन के ठोस आधार पर बैन हुआ है कि नहीं हुआ है? आप गलवाइयाँ करें, आप उनके साथ जिसको कहें कि सिंपैथी रखें, तो सॉफ्ट रहें, तो इसका क्या अर्थ बनता है? समझ में आना चाहिए।
So you heard what Narendra Modi said, you heard what Amit Shah said, and you also heard what JP Nadda said. A common thread or theme runs through all the three leaders. They spoke about sovereignty, they spoke about nationalism, they spoke about not just Kannadiga pride, but the pride of being an Indian. How much will this turn the tide during the last day of campaigning in Karnataka? Let's try and understand. Let me get the guests in. Professor Chambi Puranik, very well-known political analyst, is joining us, and also Bhaskar Hegde, my colleague who is editor of TV9 Kannada Digital. A very warm welcome. Namaskara actually. Why say welcome? Hello. Namaskara. That's the greeting now. Namaskara.
Namaskara.
You know.
Thank you.
So the first thing is, Professor Puranik, do you think this kind of aggressive pitch by Mr. Modi, by Mr. Nadda and by Mr. Shah, it is quite potent and may change the tide of what people are thinking before they go and ink their vote?
No, definitely. I concur with you and the details given by Mr. Nadda. Part of it he has highlighted what Prime Minister and Amit Shah ji have discussed with various channels and also in the public. But the last 2-3 days, very not only aggressive but also very emotive kind of connect that Prime Minister is trying to make with the people or voters of Karnataka. I think something that has never happened in the past, because he has gone to all small villages, big towns, semi-urban and the mega cities like that. So even gully mein शोर है, मोदी जी बोल रहे हैं, मोदी जी का वेलकम कर रहे हैं. This euphoria that is there, certainly it gives you and me a kind of feeling that Modi ji has the knack of that. He is a great orator and he knows how to connect with the people of Karnataka and tell them key issues, especially the issue of sovereignty and the divide and rule policy of the British, which Congress is continuing like that. This kind of whatever self goals that Congress has been making, that is there. So I think to a great extent today and tomorrow, the kind of neutral voters, or as I said earlier, fence sitters, the swing makers, they will be in a position to think what is going to happen to Karnataka if we opt for Congress, because Congress has no scope to become a central government, the double engine advantage and all that. It is an advantage. I asked a couple of people in the morning walk, very ordinary people, rickshaw drivers and common people, and also retired them. They also say that Mr. Modi's assurance that Congress will not be in a position to deliver the goods because they are only making issues of corruption without evidence, and the cases have been filed. Yes, it's a fact. Without evidence, they have been shouting, on that time you utter lies, it becomes something acceptable to gullible people. But all of them are not gullible people. People do think. Congress has filed BJP has filed a case against Congress. So such kind of whatever evidences that are there, I think. So on the whole, as you said, to start with our debate, before Mr. Hegde takes over, I must say that Congress has committed a series of blunders, self-goals, and a kind of harakiri approach by making statements. Second thing is, we don't want Lingayats. Even BJP also, Santosh's fake news has spread like wildfire, because Lingayats are not wanted. We only want Hindutva, but Lingayats are part of Hindutva. Santosh, nobody can alienate them. Majority of
So Professor, you are saying that this last leg, what Modi, Shah and Nadda have done in Karnataka, they are on a good wicket. That's what you are saying, right? But let's also look at it. Yeah, let's look at it from the other prism, and for this I will go to my colleague Bhaskar. Bhaskar, let's look at it through what is called the prism of facts. Let's talk about the sovereignty debate that they are talking about, and of course the residual, the footnotes, tukde gang, and this is what they will ultimately see to it that Karnataka does not remain part. Very, very serious allegations. Let's go back to what Sonia Gandhi said. Bhaskar, put it in perspective for our viewers here. Do you think that she said it in the context that is being made out to be? I am not saying that political parties cannot run away with what is called a specious argument. But what was the context, if you can put it for the viewers?
Sudha, I think if I'm not wrong, what Sonia Gandhi tried to say, or what Priyanka and Rahul tried to convey to the voters in the context of corruption, in the context of maladministration, in the context of kind of disconnect between the government and the people. So that is why I think they use the word that sovereignty. But as Professor Puranik said and as Prime Minister mentioned, technically and legally, this is not going to stand. And of course, politically, they can use this kind of force.
Right. So, by sovereignty, you think what she may have meant, and correct me if I am wrong, is about, you know, your own identity, self-identity. Now, you are right. Legally, sovereignty is a very, very serious word to use. So, you think once again, the Congress did what it does rather well, and this is what experts say, shoot themselves, you know, a self-goal.
Sudha, there is one important point we should not miss here. This concept of sovereignty they use and the communication that Priyanka, Rahul and Sonia ji they tried to do, it might not have connected with the common man, this particular narrative. Of course, the very creamy layer of educated people, I think those people might have dissected this particular issue and they have debated this issue. And I don't think this narrative, this sovereignty narrative has connected with common man. So therefore, I think if you see from the prism of effective communication, I think this Sonia, Rahul and Priyanka's communication of using this sovereignty debate has not connected at all.
Right. Let me go to Professor Puranik. Bhaskar said it did not connect with the common. That's his perception and maybe he's right. I mean, that's another conversation. But tell me something, when you evoke nationalism, when you say they are tukde gang, when you say they are danger to the sovereignty of this nation, they are questioning it. Don't you think that Karnataka is a very sensitive, emotional, state? I mean, all states are emotional, but I know Karnataka a bit more than maybe, let us say, West Bengal, but I'm saying very, very emotional. Do you think Modi, Shah and Nadda really shot an arrow straight into the emotional quotient of a Kannadiga today?
Yeah, I think, from Mr. Hegde's technical and legal kind of thing and not appealing to rural voters, the people at large, throughout Karnataka. But, there is a history behind Congress to be accused of this tukde kind of support and also their opposition to Article 370 abolition and many other things, and also the appeasement politics. So these are all things that go well with the people. Even rural people, they are not that uneducated. They also know that Mr. Prime Minister Modi speaks, it will have greater impact or effect because weight is there as Prime Minister is making a responsible statement. But very intelligently, Modi ji has just made it open to say that they are not interested in the integration or the kind of support that federal government gives to the state governments like that. These are issues that are there. Definitely, see, double engine means, what do you mean by double engine? If there is a central government and the state government is of the same party, you are going to get better amenities, better support and all that. And Nadda ji has also, I think, he should not have made that, but he has said, all the benefits that you get from the center will be stopped if you don't elect BJP. That is also another thing the Congress can criticize and all that. So Congress has a legacy of promoting such kind of, I don't say divisive as such, raising the issues of identity where there is no need for that kind of emotional controversies or issues to be blown out of proportion. So therefore, in the context of the election campaign, all is fair in love and war and politics. Let us not go into the technicalities of whether it is against
and the
constitution
BJP,
or not.
You're right, Professor, and the BJP, has kind of mastered that art. All is fair in love and during elections. That two things. Yes. Bhaskar, I want to refer to the survey that TV9 Kannada, we conducted about Karnataka. They said the tide has somewhat changed, this kind of using disparaging words against Modi, whether, all these things matter. Do you think pretty much the last leg, today is of course the last, but the penultimate leg also, and before that also, somehow the BJP was able to kind of shift the tide, as it were?
I think, Sudha, you're right, because there are two, three very key points. One is the integrity and the approval rating of Prime Minister over the years. That mattered most because if we see the kind of feedback, the grassroots level reaction to PM's roadshow, in particular, I'm referring to, it's tremendous. In that sense, I think it might have BJP in a big way, particularly in Bangalore. And this optics of TV channels bombarding this particular roadshow for hours together and people from districts watching them, I think this certainly it have a very, very positive impact from the BJP's point of view. That is one. At the same time, what Congress did actually, Congress has tried to, contest or challenge this with a kind of a release of a video where Siddaramaiah and D.K. Shivakumar having a very informal chat about forming a government and implementing the programs and assurances and so many things. But if you compare PM's roadshow, PM's rally, and the kind of a positive impact, and this particular video that Congress has released yesterday and today, and its impact, if we compare, one can easily draw a kind of conclusion that BJP is on a stronghold. The reason is as simple as that, because Siddaramaiah and D.K. Shivakumar are kind of sworn enemies, not formally, informally. Because the two groups, caste groups, that is Kurubas and Wakaligas, they are basically want their leader to become CM. They don't want their leader to settle for anything less than that.
Right.
People always see these two leaders from this prism only. So if D.K. Shivakumar playing a second fiddle in that particular video, Wakaligas might be very upset. They may think twice before voting. So similarly, if Kurubas think that my leader is not properly treated and he may not become CM, they may change their decision to vote. So therefore, if you see the optics also, the BJP's optics of using Prime Minister for a roadshow and that impact is extremely strong. And this particular video that the Congress has released, there is a very inherent weak logic in the Congress video. Therefore, I think what you said in the beginning is absolutely right, that BJP has tremendously improved in the last 3 weeks or so.
Right. But of course, on News9 and TV9 overall, we don't punt on elections. So we are going to show you the other side of the coin. What is the other side of the coin? You saw about what the BJP leaders did and said. Now let's shift focus to what the Congress has been up to. Now, since the Bharat Jodo Yatra, Rahul Gandhi has been called the people's prince. Not my words, but they say he's very, very good with people. Now, Rahul has been riding scooters and having coffee with delivery boys and traveling in BMTC buses, all to prove that he's one of them. Take a look.
बैठ जाओ यहाँ पे सर थोड़ा पीछे चलिए ओके मीडियन प्लीज सर थोड़ा पीछे चलिए ओके मीडियन प्लीज सर थोड़ा पीछे चलिए ओके मीडियन प्लीज
We walked together in Karnataka for 557 kilometers in the Bharat Jodo Yatra. I met lakhs and lakhs of people, and all of you complained about one thing: the BJP's loot of the people of Karnataka. Karnataka youth are worried. They're worried about not getting jobs. Women are being harassed by price rises. And so we asked ourselves, what would you expect from the Congress party? And you gave us 5 extremely powerful answers. Guarantee number 1, Griha Lakshmi scheme. 2,000 rupees a month to every woman head of a household. With Griha Lakshmi, we are keeping the money in the hands of women to ensure that they are in control and in charge of their own life. Guarantee number 2, Yuva Nidhi. With Yuva Nidhi, we will provide support to the youth of Karnataka for 2 years. Rupees 3,000 per month for unemployed graduates and rupees 1,500 per month for unemployed diploma holders. We know that you're suffering the largest unemployment crisis that you have faced. We focus on creating 2.5 lakh government jobs and 10 lakh private sector jobs. Guarantee number 3, Annabhagya. 10 kgs of rice per person per month to BPL families. With Annabhagya, we will ensure that not a single person in Karnataka goes to sleep hungry. Guarantee number 4, Griha Jyoti. 200 units of free electricity for every single household. We know that price rise has impacted everyone and Karnataka households are no different. Guarantee number 5, the Sakhi program. Free bus tickets for women to travel around Karnataka. We want women to travel safely and comfortably. Travel should not be a burden on the women of Karnataka. These 5 ideas are your ideas. Everybody who believes that what the BJP did over the last 3 years, the 40% commission Sarkara and the gross robbery that they carried out from the people of Karnataka was wrong. Vote for a government that is sensitive and has a vision. On the 13th of May, when the results come, the Congress party will have a sweeping majority. On the first day, on the first cabinet meeting, these 5 guarantees will be given to you by the Congress party. We will return what is rightfully yours and set Karnataka on the right track of prosperity. This is not all we are going to do. This is the beginning of progress. नमस्कार जी, क्या खाएंगे आप? कुछ तो खाना पड़ेगा आपको। और आप जीएसटी से आपको नुकसान हुआ, फायदा हुआ?
बहुत नुकसान हुआ। ऑर्डर लेके चले जाते हैं और इसमें हमारा 100 रुपए के काम का है। हमारा जो व्यापार है जाके आपका टिप्स करके 100 रुपीज देते हैं, दूसरा जूस देता है। वही सर, ये काम जो ढंग का होना फ्यूचर काम है।
थैंक यू ब्रदर।
And guess what he ate there? Masala dosa. I mean, where else do you eat masala dosa but in Karnataka, the Udupi masala dosa? Actually, the genesis started all there for those who are watching the show. And of course, he must have had filter coffee. Look at those visuals. Like they say, he's a people's person is what they say. Riding behind a member of a food aggregator team, Rahul Gandhi in Karnataka. Let me get the guests back and understand what this all means on the last day of campaigning. The battle for Karnataka, as it were, between the BJP and the Congress. Both of them very aggressive, very, very focused in trying to get voters to their sides. Professor Puranik and Bhaskar Hegde are still with us right now. Professor Puranik, you know, it all started, one should say, with the Bharat Jodo Yatra. You know, he walked around 600 kilometers in Karnataka, made a lot of contact with people, he says that. But tell me something, you know, to be one amongst the people, to be ordinary, do you think this is really going to work with the electorate, or you think it is very, very urban approach, Professor?
Mix up both, because Rahul Gandhi, you know, I have interacted with him in 2019. He did say that I am going to become Prime Minister. And then he put a rider saying that if Congress gets majority. But that was the first time throughout the country, you know.
I'm so sorry, Professor, but this is
unfortunately, I am not a predictor of numbers. I can only say that the response that we have got from the public, and as you heard in this very meeting, they want an end to corruption. This government has made itself known only by the epithet 40% Sarkara. That is not something a government should be known for.
How has the response been so far?
Sorry?
How has the response
Very good. It's been very good.
Is the Prime Minister
Professor Puranik, please continue what you were saying. I mean, I was talking about him having masala dosa, coffee, riding in BMTC buses, you know, riding a scooter, all that. Do you think that's a very urban approach of a man like Rahul Gandhi, and he's not touching the chord of the common Kannadiga, as it were?
Yeah, you know, I think that throughout Bharat Jodo Yatra, he did touch the rural people. and also, the kind of love he showed to the people of India. I think even the Karnataka people, including the other people in other states also, they have a lot of respect and attachment or love for Gandhi, for Nehru Gandhi family. Let us not say just because BJP has come to power. No, the people are sense of gratitude to all the great leaders who have made this country great. It is not that in 2023 India is going to launch itself as a modern nation. No, that is not the point. Correct. I agree with that kind of style or connection, optics, kind of thing. But nobody takes him seriously. This is the problem. He's a part-time politician, kind of a very sophisticated leader who tries to mix with the people with a Gandhian approach of meeting the people on the road and all that. People know that it is all a kind of for optics only and for the benefit of Congress party, not really in terms of touching the hearts of the people. But that's one side. Second thing is, Congress itself has not been able to convince people, not only in Karnataka, in other parts of the Karnataka. In 2018, they lost. They had a golden chance to retain power. It is not that pattern of Karnataka is anti-incumbency and they change the government at every election once in 5 years. That is not the point. Congress was given a very good opportunity, but they lost it because of Mr. Yediyurappa, BSY. They came to power and all that. That is proved now. If Yediyurappa's re-entry, BJP has come up to 102, 103. Today it is also in the same kind of numbers that we are predicting, apart from your own channel giving little more than the 2018 mandate was. So my point is, both Rahul Gandhi and Priyanka, they attract the youth because they are the kind of future leaders of India. Whether we like or not, both of them are going to be very prominent, or they will emerge as great leaders. Now this is a probationary period for him. I would say even people also know that Rahul Gandhi's words cannot be taken seriously. He is not in a position to form the government at the center, and the opposition is divided. Non-Congress state governments are planning, and they don't want Congress leadership. When the whole country knows that Congress is a leadership of number being one or uniting factor, I think that is not going to be relevant. So in that context, in Karnataka, his road shows and the kind of jolly rides and the tasting food, chai with common people and all that, that goes well because Nehru family needs to connect. So except for that connection, converting that into votes in favor of Congress and accusing BJP of corruption, 40%, I think Prime Minister is very intelligent. You look, he brought back his own father, Rajiv Gandhi's statement saying, whenever center gives 1 rupee, only 15 paise goes to the people.
Yes,
the remaining 85 paise is eaten by the middlemen and politicians and other people and all. So that Modi ji has further revived. There was no mention of that in earlier campaigns. Now Modi ji is very clever, very pointed, and he knows where to hit the kind of opposition that he wants to aim at. So 85 paise being corrupted or exploited, misused by Congress, now Modi ji has brought back to the memories of the people of Karnataka, saying that, look, here 85% corruption government was there. So let us not go to that 15%. Okay, that we will make it 85 for people,
right, Professor. You made, let me come back to you, Professor. But right now, let me go to Bhaskar Hegde. Bhaskar Hegde, what Professor Puranik said, no one takes him seriously. He's like on probation, he's on deputation, etc. But let's come to also the crux of the matter is that all of them, whether it is Priyanka, whether it is Sonia Gandhi, of course she spoke about sovereignty, but she also spoke about corrupt Sarkara. Priyanka Gandhi, we just played you the bite where she's speaking about corruption. Rahul, in all his speeches, has spoken about Sarkara. Now, I want you to tell me something. Is it cutting any ice? Because there is no proof. 40% we know, when unfortunate death happened of a contractor and what it had, what it led to so far as Ishwarappa is concerned. But do you think that all these antics, which is going by the bus, eating masala dosa, but speaking mainly about corruption is cutting any ice with the electorate, Bhaskar Hegde?
Sudha, I think you were reading very, very right. It's very apt because I doubt his entire campaign style and everything is getting more traction. There are 2-3 reasons. see, this adopting this foreign, particularly the Western politician style in India might not work. Because see, in the West, when a politician goes with a common man, they think really very seriously the common voter, and accordingly the mood change, the impact change, everything will change. Whereas in India, a politician comes to a common man during election, I'm saying. So that is basically treated with some kind of salt. So people may not take it very seriously. I don't think he's wrong in using this kind of strategy. Absolutely, he's well within his rights to use all this kind of strategy to campaign, whether it is traveling in a BMTC, that is the public corporation bus, and sitting with Zomato, Swiggy drivers to have a coffee and masala dosa and everything. That's a very good campaign style. But this kind of thing, I'm very sorry.
It's all right.
This kind of thing he did during Bharat Jodo Yatra also. And people think Bharat Jodo Yatra, so he tried to come out of this Pappu image. So I think this will add to that particular thing. To his, as Professor Puranik rightly mentioned, I think he's in the beginning of a very serious politician. And this kind of optics and this kind of activity during election might not help them to get votes, but certainly it helps them to build a kind of persona for Rahul Gandhi.
Right, but then Bhaskar, I also want you to quickly please respond to this whole focus on corruption. Now, do you think that, of course, in our surveys, initially it threw up that, corruption was an issue, 40% Sarkara, all this. But then as we went along, and our last survey clearly shows that, yes, corruption is very important, and it has pushed down communal remarks, where you call it the sovereignty or Vishkanya or Naga, whatever, Nagin and all that silly comments that they made. But do you think corruption really matters so much now? Because it now seems like a frontal attack. You say this to me and I will see to it that I analyze you.
Sudha, I think this may not be a very big issue as far as the choice of vote is concerned. Because I based my argument on 2 points. One is almost all the surveys commissioned by various news agencies and independent agencies, during that, the respondents have given a 4th or 5th rank for the corruption charge. And that clearly indicates that they have given very less importance or seriousness to this particular charge leveled by Congress party, that is the principal opposition party in Karnataka, in the last 1 year or so. So that means people are used to this particular corruption and the unethical practices in governments and day-to-day governance. It has been going on for quite ages. No matter which party comes to power, so this has been there. This is the in thing. So nobody could wish away that. So that is why I think people have given very less importance or given a kind of ranking to corruption during their interviews. So that is why I think corruption, yes, for optics, for election campaign style and campaign material and the speech, yes, no doubt. And people also say, when TV channels and media organizations interview, they say corruption is destroying their life and this and that. But the viewpoint here is whether have they changed this choice because of corruption in Karnataka, I doubt. Nobody has this kind of question in the sense, have you changed your choice from BJP to Congress this time only because of corruption has totally wrecked the life of common man? But that particular interaction or some kind of data is not available. In the absence of data, we can't conclude that I think corruption is going to change the narrative and the voting pattern of Karnataka.
Right. So today, when we are looking at this entire last battle for Karnataka debate, 2 headlines emerge. One, what Narendra Modi said, and that is about sovereignty. That is the Congress questioning the sovereignty and bringing up the issue. And the other is Rahul Gandhi behind a food aggregator member riding a scooter. Take a look at it and then I'll go to Professor Puranik and ask him what really matters.
इस चुनाव में अब कांग्रेस के शाही परिवार ने कल कर्नाटका में आकर के बोला है, उन्होंने कहा है कि कर्नाटका की सॉवरेनिटी की रक्षा करना चाहते हैं। कर्नाटका की सॉवरेनिटी यानी कि कर्नाटका की संप्रभुता, क्या आपको पता है कि इसका अर्थ क्या होता है? इतने सालों से पार्लियामेंट में बैठे हैं, भारत के संविधान का शपथ लिया है और ये बात बोलते हैं। जब कोई देश, सुनिए दोस्तों, जब कोई देश आजाद हो जाता है तो उस देश को संप्रभु राष्ट्र कहते हैं। कांग्रेस जो कह रही है, इसका मतलब है कि कांग्रेस कर्नाटका को भारत से अलग मानती है। क्या आपको मंजूर है ये बात? आपको मंजूर है? ऐसा कहने वाली कांग्रेस को सजा करोगे नहीं करोगे? भाइयों बहनों, इसका मतलब है कि कांग्रेस खुलकर कर्नाटका को भारत से अलग करने की वकालत कर रही है। टुकड़े टुकड़े गैंग की बीमारी कांग्रेस में इतनी ऊपर तक पहुंच जाएगी।
So, Professor Puranik, I'm again and again setting the context, considering it's the last battle for Karnataka, as it were. Tell me something. Congress has brought up corruption many times over. Of course, Rahul Gandhi has also gone and said that they guarantee, money to the head of woman of a family. Of course, giving money to those who are unemployed and those who are also diploma holders. Also, what he pronounced is as Anna Bhagya, which is Anna Bhagya. These things matter a lot according to me, how you pronounce Anna, Anyway, I won't comment further. But I'm asking you, Professor Puranik, don't you think corruption, yes, there could be corruption, but unless it actually percolates down to the every man in a state, it really has stopped being a major issue, because there is corruption everywhere. It's very unfortunate, Professor, but it's true, isn't it?
Yeah, I agree with our Sanjay Hegde, because they have done a survey and it's more than 1.5 lakh people they have samples taken. That in that indicator, if I'm right, it is about 17 to 19% people have said, corruption is an issue that is there. But, when I ask common people, they say, sir, without giving money, nothing works. Whether it is Congress government or coalition of JDS or BJP, twiddle them and twiddle dee. This we have been telling. And people like you and me, we know that because without increasing the forms, except in passport office, in my knowledge, of the last 15 years of my stay in Mysore, apart from Mysore, Bangalore, apart from Mysore, I have not come across any office which is free from corruption, including the apartments and all that. That's a matter of detail. Now, in the context of election, whether it's going to be a major issue like the Congress bombarding day in and day out with all advertisements, very defamatory kind of languages they are using and all that. And the other hand, the BJP has come out with exact proof at whatever level in the last Congress regime and also the coalition type of government of 13 months. They have come out with some kind of solid evidence. Like that, Congress should have come out with that kind of, that is not there. So people don't take it seriously. Even the urban youth also, they know that these are all kind of electoral issues which are not having major impact. Now, the main impact will be on the basis of rising prices and also unemployment and also the kind of infrastructure and the kind of worst BPMP government or administration that we have seen. These are major
Absolutely.
issues which people know. So therefore, they expect that after seeing metro and all that, the kind of new plans or schemes being inaugurated by Prime Minister, they think these are the people who can deliver goods better than the Congress, which is nowhere in the country. And in Karnataka, they are strong, no doubt, because Congress has done good work in the past also. But in the present context, the rivalry competition between Siddaramaiah and DK Shivakumar is
Yes.
still a very strong issue which people suspect
Right,
this is going to
Professor.
be a problem. So
Right.
one more point. Shivakumar has said, I want to tell, in your channel last week I mentioned, blood is thicker than water. Yesterday Shivakumar has said that, I trust Vakaligas, they will vote for me because I am going to be Chief Minister and Vakaligas will stand by me. This is my point. And repeatedly I said blood is thicker than water in politics and elections. So this is the kind of approach they are having. Unlike BJP going for broader Hindutva outfits, including Lingaites and all that. That's okay, broader umbrella. Here, he's very particularly targeting. He knows well that Kurmas
Right.
supporting Siddaramaiah will not support him. So therefore,
Right.
he wants to mobilize more against Kumaraswamy, who is waiting in the wings to take advantage of a hung assembly or fragmented verdict.
Right,
That
Professor.
kind of a situation, perhaps we may have to face it. Unfortunately, people expect a stable government, but unfortunately,
All
the
right.
discussion that we have, I think it's going to be a fragmented verdict as I apprehend.
Right, Professor. But let me go to Bhaskar Hegde. Bhaskar, tell me something. These guarantees that is, and it reminded me of elections when I started covering it. I mean, long years ago, guarantees. I will give you this, I will give you that. Now, I know that there is a big debate between welfare and freebies, etc., neighboring state, Tamil Nadu. Time and again, it has been a debate. But do you think these guarantees, they really work now? Unless you get something in hand and there is a promise which comes to fruition, these kind of announcements, do they really have an impact, Bhaskar?
So that's to give you, before giving answer to your point,
Sure.
the one caveat I will make.
Okay.
The caveat is as simple as that. There one section of people who need a below poverty line. They need some kind of support for food and shelter and so many things. So to address that problem, government, whether it is center or state governments, they have to have this midday meal. There are so many welfare programs to be did. That's perfectly all right, because even the center is also giving wheat and rice and so many food grains to states because of this particular, without this kind of philosophy. So state governments are using this, and they, of course, additionally they are buying wheat and rice and food grains from the market, and they are giving it. Certainly perfectly all right. But extending the same logic and expanding this to make it a kind of freebie culture, which in what we call in English and revdi in North India, I think I have some kind of suspicion that it may ruin the economy of the state. No doubt, we have to support the below poverty line people. We have to have heart in the right place to support them, and we should have welfare programs. But at the same time, we should draw a line where our economy and where our support system helps and to what extent we can go. Otherwise, I think, if you see Karnataka alone, Karnataka's power sector is actually bleeding the state's exchequer because there is a heavy loss in T&D losses, transport and distribution losses.
Right.
There is heavy losses in agriculture sector. No government wants to bite the bullet. So there are so many issues that is gripped power sector. So nearly 25,000 crore rupees every year the state government is supporting directly and indirectly the ESCOMs, that is distribution system. To add to that, if you are actually putting the state under stress with these kind of programs, I think first 2 years we are going to have a very good journey. But after that, I think it's going to have a very negative
be a
impact on the
challenge.
state economy.
That's right, yes. Let me go to Professor Puranik. I'm completely running out of time. So quickly, Professor Puranik, let's not talk about who's winning, who's losing. Neither will you do it, nor will I do it, nor will, News9 ever do it, or TV9. Tell me something. If you were someone, an image guru, whose campaign was better run? I mean, was it the BJP or the Congress?
I think, I would say that the campaign of Kumaraswamy looked more sober and restrained.
Wow, I like that. So you are playing it, yeah, lovely. Please go ahead.
Because we are not in favor of any particular party, we are in favor of our people of Karnataka and India. Because we want the federal cooperation, not in confrontations. That is our motto. So I think Kumaraswamy's campaign was low profile, and also he was appealing to people of not only his community but even minorities, telling them we will scrap that 4% which has been taken away in reservation, and we will give all bhagyas, which Mr. Hegde mentioned about the fiscal indiscipline that's going to cause and harm Karnataka's future prospects. First 2 years, okay, but later also they have a very, politicians are not trustworthy. They have a knack of withdrawing it by giving some excuse or the other. Look, we have to pay interest to the loan, and the central government is not cooperating. All the kind of excuses. They are known for such lies and untruthful defenses and all that. So coming to your campaign kind of impact, Kumaraswamy in South Karnataka, including up to Central Karnataka and in border. In the North Karnataka, I think Congress, has done better, because Saudi and Lakshmana, what is that, Shettar, joining them and giving them a boost, saying that we are not against Lingaites, though Siddaramaiah says all Lingayat chief ministers corruption. Look, ex-chief minister is there. That kind of temporary boasting will be there, or kind of softening will be there. The third thing is BJP. It is a very well organized kind of campaign network, but they were not aggressive as compared to the kind of allegations that Congress was making 10, 12 days, kind of continuous propaganda. So they were creating a kind of fear, a kind of lack of trust in the present government, and pushing people of Karnataka, people who want to vote for BJP, to go against that anti-incumbency syndrome, that kind of propaganda. I think Congress was doing it. So BJP has not been able to, in spite of Modi and Nadda, Amit Shah ji coming and salvaging or rescuing from that kind of lack of formatting. So the state leadership, I think, has not been able to hit or appeal to the people, unlike the national leaders. So national leaders have done better, including Congress, Priyanka and Rahul, which may not be really making good impact. So therefore, I would say state leaders should learn from Kumaraswamy and from others in Congress.
That's a good note. That's a good note to end this conversation. Thanks are due both to Bhaskar Hegde and Professor Chambi Puranik. It was such a pleasure having both of you on the show today. Thank you very much indeed. So the battle for Karnataka, it's all set now, and on this platform, this needs to be your destination. We shall bring you every aspect of hitherto unknown aspects of what elections in Karnataka is going to be. Keep watching.